Welcome to today's episode of So What's the Catch? Brian will be joining us shortly. He's just dealing with some outside stuff right now, but in the meantime, you got myself, Unger to the Max, and over there, we got the new look, Churk Berserk. Dude, I love the new look for you.
Yeah, I got these goggles today. It was like they just looked like the Horace Grant sunglasses, and I thought these were just so cool, and I just wanted to get them.
Yeah, and they go right along with your beard, too. I
I
like.
know that's why I got them.
Yeah, your beard is finally coming in. Mine's coming in mostly here. I for some
They'll take time.
yeah, but we're not here to talk about beards and facial looks and all that.
Playoff beards.
Huh?
I was joking, saying playoff beards.
Yeah. I mean that is a thing for the Stanley Cup playoffs, but those are
Yep.
long those are long over. Uh but this is So What's the Catch? We are a sports show. Um Usually we do this thing every Wednesday from 2 to 4. Circumstances changed this week. So we'll let we'll give you updates moving forward about when the show is going to be and how long the show is going to be because it might not stay at the 2 hour format. But again, we'll put out any changes to the show. We'll put out updates and let you know. Anyway, so let's start with the bombshell that we got last night. Indiana Pacers, they signed DeAndre Ayton to an offer sheet of $133 million. I believe it was 4 years. And within 3 minutes or so, Phoenix matches that offer sheet. What did you
Hmm.
think of that whole thing, Churk?
I mean, they got Booker in for a while, and they got Paul in for a while. So I I don't know, man. I think they could have done better, but hey,
Yeah,
I think they wanted to keep the core together. Was probably what their mindset was signing him,
yeah.
and that's my reason of why they probably signed him. I don't think it was the best decision though. I thought
I
it
would
was like,
yeah, I would agree with you about that. By the way, it was
I mean,
By the way, it was
this guy.
4 years, 133 million. Just to clarify that part of the story. But
I mean, he just reminds me of like a poor man's Carl Anthony Towns. Personally, he's
I
not
can.
that good.
Ooh, not. I would disagree with you about him not being that good, but I can see the comparison between him and Carl
Cat.
Anthony Towns. Yeah, I see that comparison. But we know for a while Kevin Durant was saying that he wanted to go to Phoenix and play with Devin Booker, play with Chris Paul. I think with the Suns matching the Pacers offer sheet of again 4 years, 133 million, it basically takes him out of the running for that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I I don't I don't know. Do you think there's actually a possibility Kevin Durant could end up back in Brooklyn?
Maybe if all else, like every other situation, doesn't seem right to him. But I think he'll do his best. I mean, I don't think he could do that. He could go to Washington and join up with Beal.
Yeah, but what else do the
I,
Wizards have? Nothing.
they don't really have nothing besides him. You're right. Uh, you know, he probably. I don't know where he's going to be. I think staying with Brooklyn might be the move if all else fails.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but here's the problem. Like, clearly Kevin Durant is disgruntled, right? So
Yeah.
would I I don't know if that would be the best situation for him to just go back to Brooklyn where he's clearly unhappy, whether it's because of Kyrie Irving or something with ownership, the the general manager, whatever it is, something caused him to be unhappy and want out. So for him to just say, "Okay, I'm gonna go back," just doesn't make a
I think,
lot of just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
well, and with the injuries piling up, I think that also plays in a part. I mean, look, I think the thing was he had expectations to go far in the playoffs with this big team, and it's not living up to his expectations. So I think he's kind of like in a win now mentality that I need to win another ship before I go.
Yeah. So what about this? Let me just throw this out there. Most likely Kevin Durant would not want to go to New Orleans. I get it. But what if the Nets and Pelicans were to make a trade centered on Kevin Durant and Brandon Ingram, where Ingram ends up in Brooklyn, Durant ends up in New Orleans, and you pair Kevin Durant with Zion Williamson? What do you think about that?
Uh, I would say it could work if they're both not injury prone, but they are.
With Zion is especially injury prone.
Yeah,
So
that's what I said. Yeah,
yeah, I know. Um, I was just enhancing your point.
yeah. I don't think it would work out personally. I mean, uh, would that trade be viable? I think they would pull that trade, but I don't think. I think it might even be a worse situation for Durant.
Okay, so what if you did this? Instead of trading Brandon Ingram to Brooklyn, do you think it would work if New Orleans were to trade Zion to Brooklyn and you pair Brandon Ingram with Kevin Durant? What do you think about that?
Then in that case, they're the same style player. It's just like that. Also, I mean, I think that might be able to work out better just because of the fact that Ingram's not as injury prone, and I believe would one of the two would have to switch to power forward. I don't know who would be better at that.
I would think Durant would be better at that,
Yeah,
considering.
that's probably what would have to happen. And then once Ingram's on the bench, you would switch him back to small forward, his
Yeah,
primary position.
yeah.
So
I would.
I think that's the other reason I don't think it would work because then you would take away from his position,
Okay, I can see that.
and then you have two players fighting that have the same position.
Right.
With Zion, it's injury prone. With Ingram, it's just like how can the lineup make sense?
hmm Yeah,
I think
so
the best. I think Brooklyn might be. I mean, could you see him with the Knicks?
I think the
That might
Knicks
actually be a good fit.
I think the Knicks are more interested in trying to trade for Donovan Mitchell.
Hmm. I mean, I think him and Randall would actually be a good duo. Not Mitchell, I mean Durant.
Yeah, I yeah, I got you on that one. Um I can see why you say that. God, that's a hard one cuz the Knicks have seemingly lost all of their luster and all that. Maybe Durant could help restore that. So I maybe that's part of your thinking. I'm not sure. Is that part of your thinking?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I can totally see that, but I just with the way their the Knicks ownership is and all that, I don't know if that would be a good mix between them and Kevin Durant. You know.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, Durant, when he goes on your team, will automatically make the team better. If healthy, he'll make the team better.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. So, I just don't know if like we know how the Knicks ownership group is and with
Uh,
Dolan and all that. So, I'm
the
just
evil
saying
mastermind.
yeah. So I'm just saying in terms of like personality or whatever word you want to use there. I don't know if that would. I feel like that would be too much of like a clash of styles like that.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
like your but I like your thinking. It's not a bad idea.
Mm. And as in the, I mean, KD, I think if you were to stay with Brooklyn, I mean, look, it's a whole different team now. They have Ben Simmons. They have uh, they still have Kyrie Irving.
For now, we'll see if he ends up getting traded or not. He could.
Uh, if he did, do you think him and Simmons could work out?
If Kyrie gets traded and it's just Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, that would be an interesting pairing. I don't know if that would be a. I don't know. Ooh,
I mean, you got basically two twin towers who both can play point guard.
yeah, but the thing we know what's up with Ben Simmons. He's afraid to shoot. Like
That doesn't matter. You need him to defend and to pass. That's all you need him for.
that's
And
true.
and he can do both those things. He's good at perimeter defense. He's good at in the lane, and as far as passing the ball, he's top notch. Scoring, I mean, the only time he scores is when he's open. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
The only
That
time he scores is like a wide open bucket, or he's back to the basket. Those are the only two ways he scores, and that's just going to slow the game. I mean, heck, maybe even his slowing the game down could be efficient on that team.
here's how I'll push back on that because I totally see what you're saying, and I don't even totally disagree. But my pushback would be because of Ben Simmons' hesitancy to shoot the ball
Shoot.
or even try to score, that puts a lot more pressure on Kevin Durant. And
Why is he so scared to shoot?
I don't know. I
Did he have this problem in college
um, I'd
when he
have
was
to
at LSU?
I'd have to go back and watch some film from when he was at LSU. But from what I remember, not that I know of.
I mean, look, I think this guy is definitely a star. He's not a superstar, but he's a star. Ben
He
Simmons.
uh, he he's a fringe star player for me.
I mean, he's three-time all. You know what I was about to say?
Go ahead.
All-star.
Go ahead. Say it.
Three-time All-Star.
Yeah.
But that's not the most important thing. He had like a good amount. He has had like three NBA All Defensive teams, and that speaks for itself.
Right. That's more significant than the All-Star appearances because
Yeah.
at I feel like All-Star games, no matter what sport, they're basically a popularity contest. It's
Yeah.
not it's not always about who's the best player.
No.
It sometimes feels like, oh, who's the most popular player? You know.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But I like that you keep bringing it up anyway. It gives us a good laugh on the show, dude. So don't stop with that. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, never change, Churk. Never change. There's a reason we
I
call
not,
you. There's a
I would
reason.
never change for nobody.
There's a reason we call you the wild card, my dude.
Now, I don't know. I won't be talking about All Stars all the time, but I will say though this: Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant would be an interesting lineup there. Just like both of them are kind of like the point forward type of players.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
Yeah.
One could score, and with Ben Simmons' defense and assists and KD scoring, I could see that being a good tandem because Kyrie, even though like he's more known as a scoring first guard. He's not really a pass first guard like Ben Simmons.
Right. If Kyrie is still there, I could see Durant and Ben Simmons working out. But let's say Kyrie were to be traded, most likely to the LA Lakers, then I would say Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons would not work well together.
Do you think? What about Westbrook reunites?
Ugh, that would make that would be the trade that would make the most sense. Do Russell Westbrook for Kevin Durant, or I'm sorry, not
For Kyrie Irving?
yes, Russell Westbrook for Kyrie. But the problem with that is, would Kevin Durant be on board with it? I get it. Like,
I think
Brook,
that I'm pretty sure they squashed their beef a long time ago. From what I've read, they squashed their beef like probably like 2 seasons afterwards. From what I've heard,
okay.
personally. Well, at least as doesn't mean they're friends, but I mean,
Right.
I'm pretty sure they would work well together. Still, again, they worked together for like 10 years.
Yeah. But
It would make the most sense, like you said.
yeah. I did see some crazy hypothetical trade where it was like Kyrie for Kyrie and Anthony Davis for Kyrie Irving, or let me say that again. Sorry. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis go to Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant go to Los Angeles.
Hmm.
What do you think?
You said Kyrie Irving goes to Los Angeles.
And so yes, Kyrie and Kevin Durant go to Los Angeles, and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook end up in Brooklyn.
So then, where's LeBron in the picture?
LeBron stays with the Lakers.
So then, KD switches to power forward at that point.
Correct.
Interesting. I mean, hey, it could work out, but I wouldn't put my chickens in a basket on that one. I think um, the I think getting Kyrie and KD on that team more unlikely. I think if anything, I think the Westbrook one, the first one, makes more sense. I don't know why KD. I know KD, and I don't think KD wants to play with LeBron.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like KD wants to play with LeBron.
A lot of people don't want to play with LeBron.
Which is weird. Why do you think that
No,
is?
it's because LeBron's kind of a control freak a little bit.
In what
LeBron's one of the
manner?
best in the. He's one of the best in the game. He's going to be ball dominant, and people expect that.
Yeah,
And people and
but
a lot of people don't, and a lot of other people, unless they're ball dominant themselves, don't really want to play around LeBron.
yeah, but I feel like LeBron has become more of a point guard later in his career, where he's
Yeah.
become pass first, so not as ball dominant as you make it out to be.
Well, by ball dominant, I think he needs the ball in his hands. He needs the ball in his hands.
Right, I get that.
I don't mean by like he doesn't pass. I just mean he needs the ball in his hands a lot.
No, I totally understand that. I'm just saying, I think he's become more point guard where he doesn't have the ball in his hands that much anymore.
Well, I don't know. I do not. Huh?
At least that's based on what I've seen of the Lakers past year, over the last season or so.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think this NBA off season's already kind of like I mean, it's been off to a slow start so far, but I mean, who knows? Some of these blockbusters could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan Mitchell has not formally requested a trade out of Utah, but the fact that the Utah Jazz are at least willing to listen to offers for Donovan Mitchell, that should certainly raise some eyebrows. You
Yeah.
know, Kevin Durant requesting a trade at all, you know, for a while, that was all anybody talked about. And over the past week or so, I feel like that talk has kind of died down because I would say no traction has been made really anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, this NBA free agency has been kind of grinded to a halt. Maybe,
Hmm. Reminds
maybe,
me of like of 2016.
mm,
Well, actually, no, wait. That's big Kevin Durant thing. I take that back. But other than that, it wasn't really that big. Besides that,
right. Excuse me.
besides the big Durant going to announcing he's going to Golden State after the Cavs won the championship.
Right. And from what I understand, it wasn't Durant that, or it was Steph, Clay, Draymond who reached out to Kevin Durant, like, please come join us here in Golden State. Otherwise, we won't be able to beat the Cavs.
Yeah, I do remember that, and everyone hated the Warriors from that era.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's just like going out to buy a ring, basically. You're
Exactly.
just buying a ring. It's not like you worked hard. I mean, that original Warriors team, I give them credit where credit's due. Even the one that won this year, I give them credit where credit's due.
Exactly. Like that 2015 Warriors team, even the 2016 Warriors team, even though we beat them, and this Warriors team that just won the championship, I agree with you. They differ themselves from the two Durant championships because, like,
It was just unfair.
with the 2015 championship, for example, like Golden State drafted Klay Thompson, they drafted Steph, they drafted Draymond. I know they traded for Andrew Bogut, but still, like, I'm pretty sure they drafted Harrison Barnes. You know,
Well, they traded away Monte Ellis, who was kind of like a hindrance to Steph's development
yeah. Interestingly, I think we've
because they were
mentioned
both ball dominant.
I think we've mentioned this on the show before. Originally, that they were going to trade Steph, but the Bucks said no because of Steph's ankles.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Wow.
Have you heard about that or no?
I did hear about that. And I also heard they were originally going to trade Klay Thompson back in 2014
Oh God!
for
Oh,
Kevin Love. Do you remember that?
I do remember hearing about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Golden.
Imagine if they didn't have Klay Thompson. That could have happened so quickly.
Yeah, if they didn't have Klay Thompson, they don't win any of the championships they have.
Yeah, they would probably not even. Steph would be one of the best of all time for sure, but I think he would probably be like. It would probably be similar to Damian Lillard's career.
Mm. Yeah, I
If I
feel.
were to compare, if I were to compare him to anybody, if there was no Klay Thompson, he probably would have a Damian Lillard career. Hall of Famer for sure, but not really to the point of like top 10 of all time where he's cracking to.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Damian Lillard. Like, he deserves so much better than what he's getting in Portland.
I mean, I know people say I think everyone's a Hall of Famer, but I do know for a fact Damian Lillard's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires.
Oh, I know you do say everybody is a Hall of Famer, and again, we love that about you, Churk.
I
Again,
don't think everyone's a Hall of Famer. Just to put that in the thing.
yeah, I know.
I think
You do.
I think a lot of the stars are Hall of Famers.
I mean, by your logic, though, Taco Fall is a Hall of Famer. So
No, I don't actually think that, right?
sure, Churk, sure.
No, I really don't. I mean, the guy, he's a meme. That's what he is.
He's a you?
A meme.
Oh, I thought you said he's a me. I'm like, wait, that makes no
No,
sense.
meme.
Gotcha. All right, I get it. I can see why you would say he's a meme. But anyway, we're not talking about Taco Fall. But, like, I hate it for Damian Lillard because you're right. He is an all-time great three-point shooter. Not on the level of Steph, I get it. But still, all-time three-point shooter. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Or just all-time shooter. We can say it like that. And yet, I think he's only made to the conference finals like twice, maybe.
Once.
Oh, yeah,
It
you're
was
right.
that time I think it was like in 2019 when him and CJ McCollum were like lighting it up in the playoffs. I remember that.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure they got swept by Golden State.
They did.
Yep.
They took every game close though,
Yeah,
from what I remember.
but it just sucks because, like, you want to see a player of Damian Lillard's caliber in the NBA Finals playing for the championship. Same with Donovan Mitchell. You're like, Donovan Mitchell's so good, like, but he's stuck in Utah where they can't seem to get playoff success.
Hey, it's not going to stop the fact they'll have individual success.
I get that, but like with a player like Damian Lillard or Donovan Mitchell, it just doesn't feel right for them to not have a championship ring on their finger.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the NBA, I mean, I don't know. That's one thing I don't like about the NBA. It's always so predictable of who's going to be in the championship.
I
Have you
mean,
noticed that?
for those 4 years when it was Cavs Warriors, that was pretty predictable. I don't think anybody, even when Kawhi got traded to Toronto in 2019, though, I don't think
I
anybody
did
was
not see them winning a championship.
right. So that part was
Yeah,
unpredictable, but I can see what you're saying. But in that regard, in 2011, nobody saw the Dallas Mavericks going on the run they went on to ultimately win the championship.
or even let's even go back to the Cavs and Warriors. Nobody saw the Cavs winning that championship.
Right, after they got down 3-1.
Yeah.
So, it's predictable on one hand, but
Unpredictable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100% on that one. Look back at the 2013 NBA Finals. Game 6, Ray Allen hit, like, it looked for sure like San Antonio was about to win the championship on the Heat's home court, and then Ray Allen hits the three-pointer, and ultimately we get a Game 7, and Miami goes on to win their second consecutive championship.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, hey, that was one hell of a series. I do remember that when I was rooting for the Spurs during that. I remember that. I was rooting for the Spurs.
I think most of Cleveland was rooting for San Antonio in that series because they still had venom towards LeBron James about not only leaving Cleveland, but the way he left Cleveland.
Without even thanking the fans, it was just like how he did it was just like it just felt like there was like a lot of unhealed wounds.
Right. Like doing an ESPN special of the decision. And,
what? He made it like such a big circus. It was so over dramatic.
Yeah.
When he came back, though, it wasn't as over dramatic. It was actually the right amount of dramatic.
Right.
That did take me from surprise when he did that, and I did forgive him.
Yeah.
But I still didn't see LeBron the same even after. I still didn't see, as a person, I still didn't see LeBron the same after that, though. And,
Really?
well, no, not really. Just business wise. As a business person, it just always struck me the wrong way of how he dealt with business. As a person, though, and as a player, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean,
But
he has one of the best basketball IQs. He's, even though he didn't go to college, I would say he's pretty well educated. He speaks his
yeah,
mind about social justice issues. Whether you agree with him or not, that's
that's
entirely
up for your opinion. Yeah,
exactly. That's that part of the discussion is totally subjective, and I get that.
but as
But
far as business goes, he thinks something's going to work and it doesn't. He tries to force too much.
yeah, like, you know, he's the one that wanted Russell Westbrook in Los Angeles.
And look at what happened. Disaster.
Yeah. Which
He wanted Anthony Davis, which was at the time a good move, and it got them to the glory land. But in the long run, it didn't work out.
Yeah, but who's to say the Lakers would have won the championship if the season hadn't gone on pause and been finished in the bubble, right?
I thought I didn't think the Lakers were going to win it. I thought the Nuggets.
Yeah,
The Nuggets had the best chance that year.
Yeah, and like you look at like who the Lakers played in the championship,
and the Clippers too. I thought they were also good.
Yeah, you know, you look at the Miami Heat, who they played in the finals that season. What were they, like a 4 seed or a 5 seed, something like that? And
yeah,
they weren't
fully.
I'm pretty sure they weren't fully healthy in that series. So, I mean, not to say the Lakers had it easy in that run to the finals, because no championship is ever, quote, easy to win. I get that, but I would say the Lakers caught a few lucky breaks.
Yeah, I think so too. I definitely agree with you on that one. But that championship, I mean, it kind of felt like it was handed to them a little bit.
It kind of felt like it was like once everything happened the way it did, it kind of felt like destiny for them to win it.
Yeah, but it did. But it's not a win to brag about, though.
No, like everybody's gonna call it the bubble championship, just like when the Dodgers won the World Series that season. They didn't do it at Dodger Stadium. They did it at the Texas Rangers Stadium down in Arlington.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like the Dodgers, in the same breath, they have to win a legitimate World Series. Not that the 2020 championship was illegitimate, but you know what? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh?
They said I do see what you mean.
Yeah. Like the Buccaneers they don't have to like validate their Super Bowl because they were the first team to win the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
Yeah, the first team ever.
Yep, that's right. They weren't allowed to fire their cannons that season or in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Despite it being at Raymond James Stadium because they wanted to feel like a neutral site game. Yeah, right. That was clearly a Buccaneers home game.
It clearly was a Buccaneers home game. Just like, especially with all the fans out there, it was mostly all Bucs fans.
Right. Same thing.
Fan base. I know they hold a grudge to Tom Brady.
Who?
The New England fan base.
Why would the Patriots fans hold a grudge towards Tom Brady? He won them 6 Super Bowls, for crying out loud.
True. I think they were You're right. You're right. I think they do forgive him. I think they're just might have stung a little bit though.
Yeah, but I don't think there was when he made his return to New England this past season. I don't think there was a lot of booing and all that.
Yeah, there was a good amount of cheering. You're right.
Yeah, but I can understand why you're saying that, though, Churk. It's not like you're making an invalid point or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like when Peyton Manning made his return to Indianapolis, it was all cheers and all that. But when LeBron made his return to Cleveland, that was a scene I had never seen before. The amount of venom and hatred. That day, actually, I wore my Cavaliers LeBron jersey, but on the back where it said James, I actually wrote out in tape, it said Lequit. So it's spelled Lequit.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, of course, I forgive LeBron now because he won us a championship, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there will be people who never forgive LeBron.
And that's sad.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are some Chicago Bulls fans who won't forgive Michael Jordan for retiring and then coming out of retirement to play for the Washington Wizards. It's like, dude,
I doubt that.
You do?
Compared to LeBron fans, yeah. Yeah, most people from Chicago always talk about Michael Jordan, talk about plenty of stories of him. Now, as a player,
yeah, he has not been good as an owner for the Charlotte Hornets.
No, that guy just has no. I mean, look, it's similar to LeBron. Business, not the best.
I bet you once LeBron retires, he's going to become the owner of the Cavs. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, he might be better at that one. Because he knows how bad the system is.
Right, and he knows the fan base and what we want and stuff. But it would have made more sense for Jordan to be the new owner of the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. But not. I mean, that's why he's the owner of his hometown, Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Charlotte is his hometown. You're right about that.
Yeah.
And he went to the University of North Carolina, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he wasn't number 1 overall in his draft, that's hilarious. I think he was number 3 overall in his draft, actually.
Yeah. Too.
So, what do you think of the San Francisco 49ers? They haven't traded Jimmy G yet. So, does that say more about what they think of Trey Lance? Or what do you think it means?
I think nobody wants Jimmy G. They know what they're getting.
Yeah, it's weird. There's not a lot of demand for Jimmy G. Like the fact that the Seattle Seahawks are willing to go into the 2022 season with Drew Lock and Geno Smith as their starting quarterbacks. I'm sorry, but that's pathetic.
Yeah. It's pathetic. It just shows the organization's not organized at all.
Yeah.
It becomes be a disorganization.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Went over your head, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
some things go over my head like that.
you're not alone.
Yeah, wait.
I think this isn't even a quarterback controversy. This is just like a quarterback. This is like quarterback diarrhea on the team.
Yeah, I see that.
You know what you're getting with Jimmy G. He's gonna be just like average at best, and then with Trey Lance, you don't know what you're getting.
Exactly.
I really hope Trey Lance kind of wins the starting position because I'm tired of seeing Jimmy G. I really am. You just know what you're getting. Just like a quarterback who probably gets like maybe like a 25 touchdowns, interceptions, maybe like 3,000 yards. Takes them to the playoffs, but doesn't really go that far.
Yeah, I mean,
although didn't they go to the championship NFC?
They were in the NFC Championship game last season against the Rams.
And who would you say that was Jimmy G at all? Would you say that was Jimmy G, or were the pieces around Jimmy G?
I would say just like when the 49ers went to the Super Bowl against Kansas City a couple years ago, it was because of the pieces around Jimmy G. Just like when the Browns had their playoff run. You know, the Browns had the success they did with Baker Mayfield, not because of Baker Mayfield. San Francisco went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G, not because of him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jimmy G, look at who he had. I think he had some of the best receivers, the best tight end, the best offensive line that a team could have. And he couldn't even get the job done there. This team, I thought was even better. I thought this was even better than the Super Bowl team. This team, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, I can see that.
Their defense is on top of it.
Granted, they would have beaten the Chiefs in the Super Bowl had it not been for Kyle Shanahan going, you know what? We're going to stop running the ball, and I'm going to put the ball in the hands of Jimmy Garoppolo and see if he can throw us to the Super Bowl. Like, really?
I think the spirit of Dan Quinn wanted to be there. Spirit of Dan Quinn just wanted to mess the game up.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan cost two teams Super Bowl championships. Atlanta in Super Bowl 51.
Oh, that's part of that.
Huh? Yeah.
Then he gets torn even more than because of that.
Yeah. So Kyle Shanahan is a choke artist. You will, as of right now, I would say you are not going to win a championship with Kyle Shanahan as your head coach.
Nope.
I don't see it.
I don't either.
So, out of all four teams in the NFC West, as of right now, I would say only the LA Rams are going to make the playoffs. I don't think the 49ers are going to until they figure out what they're doing with Jimmy G. I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray enough. And the Seattle Seahawks are hot garbage.
Yeah, they are.
So, and then from the NFC North, as of right now, I would say only the Packers are going to the playoffs. If I had to guess, the other playoff team from that division could be Minnesota.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think Detroit will be improved, but not enough to make the playoffs. Chicago.
Jared Goff making a comeback.
I just don't know what I don't know who Jared Goff is. Like, is he the quarterback that was with the Rams in 2018 when they went to the Super Bowl? or is he the quarterback that's been meh?
I'll put God in that Garoppolo Baker Mayfield category. Like, you're good, but you're not going to be doing anything great.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you won the Super Bowl, you were not the reason that we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
You were a contribution to winning the Super Bowl.
Bingo. Exactly.
So I give credit where credit's due. You are a piece, but that's all you are. A piece. You aren't the reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I won't dismantle where I won't discredit where credit's due. I mean, you are the quarterback of the team. You are throwing the passes that are winning the game, but you're not the best quarterback out there.
Right. And here's the thing also, like, you know, sure the quarterback's the one throwing the pass, but what if it's like a 5-yard route or designed to be a 5-yard route and the wide receiver who makes the catch turns it into a 25-yard play? Who made that play? Was it the quarterback or was it the wide receiver? For me,
definitely the wide receiver.
Exactly. Yeah. But for some reason, it's the quarterbacks who get all the attention all the damn time. And it's just like, are you serious? Like, it wasn't the quarterback who turned the play from a 5-yard pass into a 25-yard gain. It was the wide receiver. Give the wide receivers and running backs and tight ends their credit. Why can't they win MVP?
If he kept doing that with different receivers, I would say he's a good quarterback.
Who? Jared Goff or just in general?
Just in general, if someone was doing the 5-yard pass and then always kept getting the wide receiver and it was a different one, that would be a good quarterback. But if they're just targeting the same one, it's predictable and they know what they're going to do over time and then swat it down.
Yeah, but like sometimes the quarterback receiver dynamic is just too strong. Like Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, or Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
And Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll throw this one in there. Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Or Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen. I know. I'm not putting Kirk Cousins in the same class as Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, but we were talking about quarterback wide receiver connections. So
Kirk Cousins is also in that Baker Mayfield Jared Goff category as well. I will put him in there. Mediocre quarterbacks. All mediocre. All.
I wouldn't say Kirk Cousins is mediocre. I would say he's average. Not going to win you like 12 games a season. He can get you to 8 to 9 wins, maybe get you into the playoffs. But
for a second round exit.
Yeah. He's not going to be good enough to get you to the Super Bowl. No.
I mean, I'd rather have him as a piece though than all those people. I think he could get the job done with all the right pieces together.
Yeah, I think he would have a better chance than Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff. I agree with you.
Even Jimmy Garoppolo, I'll put him even above him.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Speaking of the NFL, I think, is Watson out for the season?
Oh, J.J. Watt?
No, Deshaun.
Oh, Deshaun Watson? From what I know, I thought we were supposed to get a ruling sometime this week, but it's Friday and I haven't heard anything, so as of right now, I really don't know. My guess is that he's only going to end up being suspended 4 to 6 games, So that could either be the first 4 games of the season against Carolina, uh, the Jets, Steelers, and Falcons, and then he makes his return week 5 against the Chargers, or he's suspended the first 6 games of the season against the Panthers, Jets, Steelers, Falcons, uh, Chargers, and Patriots, and he makes his debut in week 7 at Baltimore against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Which, if he's suspended for the first 6 games of the season, that would mean he makes his Cleveland Browns first Energy Stadium home debut on Monday Night Football in the Battle of Ohio against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not advocating that I want him to be suspended for the first 6 games of the season, but I would not be disappointed if he were to make his Browns home debut on Monday Night Football against Cincinnati. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about this case? Like, it's very confusing there.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like black and white. At first, I was against his side, then back on his side, and now I'm just confused.
Yeah, the whole thing has been confusing, and from what I understand, the NFL has not really presented a strong case with anything.
You have no idea what's really going on with this case.
Yeah.
It's more gray area than it is black and white.
Yeah. I mean, before his criminal cases were all basically dismissed or whatever.
That gave me like some like thing of like, okay, he might be on the right track, and then he like made the plea deal with the girls. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that got me out of your good graces again, and now it's just confusion.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at an article that, according to I'm seeing a tweet from Ed Gallick on Twitter. Lead attorney for Deshaun Watson tells I-Team settlement of legal claims by Houston Texans has no significant to Deshaun's cases at all. Watson still faces 4 lawsuits for sexual misconduct, and he's waiting for possible NFL discipline that could come any day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, could you see Brissett magic happening?
Say that again?
Brisket Brissett, you think he'll be any good?
I think if he's the starting quarterback, we can play a solid 500 football.
I mean, I don't know. I have like some hope for him. He's like, his story's so underdoggish. I'm hoping he can prove every one of us wrong.
Oh, trust me, I want him to do well. I think
I agree with you.
I think he can be an average quarterback that can get us to 500 football. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe like if Deshaun is suspended for the first 8 games, okay, maybe Jacoby Brissett gets us to 4-4. That still has us in position to make a run towards the playoffs to finish off the season. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as the Watson thing, God only knows on that one. And as far as Jacoby goes, I mean, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't put all my hope into it, but who knows if we're getting the next Nick Foles.
I mean, hey, I will say this. If we have to start Josh Dobbs for a game or 2, then we're really screwed.
Oof. Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time here.
Yeah, we are. So, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Again, stay tuned for details. I'll let you know what happens, when the show will be airing, how long the show will be, and all that. But we will see you next time.
Right.